How's it going, guys? Sorry, just got a different system setting up here. So I'm using OBS, of course, but I got rid of all of my Elements stuff, and I swapped over to, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's either Atom or Item. I think it's Item, which makes sense, but either way, sweet. And I'll tell you, there's not a lot of help out there to setting this stuff up. There's some people that think they are helpful, but they don't go all the way through it. So I might just create some how to do this video step by step. There's some that say they are, but as you look through them, they stop at a moment and then they jump ahead after they'll tell you that, hey, you do this, we have to do this. And then instead of showing how you do that, they jump ahead and say, all right, so this is done. We got this. And that I'm like, well, where's the help on that? So, but anyway, regardless, it's a great system. So far, it seems to be. This is my actual first time recording using this system. It took me a while to figure it out, that's for sure. But I think I've got it tuned in. Hell, I've been working on it long enough. So let's get started on this. Today, we're going to build the Blokey's model sets. So I got these from Walmart, and they have many more sets. Today we're going to be building the Darth Vader. And then online, I've also I got the Wolverine, which is pretty nice. I'm a big model builder, and if you've seen any of my old videos or my prior videos, I talk about that quite a bit. So I got the Wolverine, which is nice. I love the fact that it's a yellow suit. I think that's my favorite suit of all of them. And of course, since I got Wolverine, I had to get the Blokey's Deadpool. So the cool thing about these are you don't need any paint, you don't need any glue, and you don't need any snips or whatever. And so we're going to test that out. So far, they seem to be dead on. I haven't built it yet. Their instructions are a little bit tough to figure out. It's not like it's hard to figure out, but it takes you a moment to get used to the system. So I started to take stuff out of it. Out of the trees, and I think I might regret it. So I stopped, and we'll see if it's easier or not. So the pieces, it shows you every single piece, so it shouldn't be that hard to follow through. But it'll take a minute for you. It's completely different. So I'm looking forward to getting experience with it and moving on. But anyway, Deadpool to go with Wolverine. And then this one, I just love the pose. And of course, you can pose these, which is pretty cool. They're articulate. But I had to get Moon Knight. I just had to. Now, I almost lost the series that they did on, that Marvel or DC, Marvel did. I wasn't a fan of it. That's not at all what I've read Moon Knight since the beginning that I can recall. And it wasn't like that at all. I found that the show, a lot of people like the show, but I was not one of them. The characters and the outfits were cool, but I didn't need to see. Most of it was just Isaac going through multiple personality changes, and I just had no desire about that. I wanted to see more of Moon Knight. I didn't need to see all this other stuff. So I like my superheroes to be, I don't mind if they're complicated, but this was just, God, it seemed like the whole point of that was this. The multiple personalities, where in the comic books he has some issues, but they're not anything like, it seemed like everything was revolved around Isaac's character's issues. But anyway, this is a great looking outfit, looks cool, so looking forward to that. And well, with all that being said, let's just get into it. Hey gang, Here are 10 distinctive behind-the-scenes facts covering both the Blokey's company and Darth Vader. Now, Blokey's is an innovative model kit company based in China and holds over 500 patents for its unique assembly designs. Their kits are completely snap-free, meaning they require zero glue, zero paint, and you don't need any specialized tools to put them together. Because Blokey's partnered directly with major franchises like Disney, their Star Wars kits arrive fully pre-painted and highly articulated. This makes them accessible for beginners while still maintaining an intricate, high-quality detail that hardcore collectors expect. Now, some behind the scenes about Star Wars. So on the set of the original Star Wars, David Prowse spoke all of Darth Vader's dialogue. However, George Lucas always intended to dub over him because Prowse had a pretty thick West Country English accent, earning him the on-set nickname Darth Farmer, which is pretty funny. Now, I met David Prowse. More than that, I hired him. I had my comic book company in Sarasota and Bradenton, Florida. I decided I wanted to do my own comic shows. So this was probably, maybe 1988, 89, somewhere thereabouts or so. And so I contacted David Prowse because I wanted this one to be a Star Wars theme, because Dark Horse had just released the Dark Force. I can't remember exactly what it was they released, but it was a big selling comic. It was 5 issues, and that was the beginning of their Star Wars line, if I recall right. So that was big, and it had just been released, and it was running pretty well. Anyway, I contacted David Prowse, and I talked to him on the phone, and he said he would love to do it. So I flew him in, and he stayed the whole weekend, although the show was only a Saturday. But he enjoyed looking around and stuff, and I took him on some tours around Sarasota and Bradenton. But anyway, he was so much fun, a sweetheart of a guy, a monster of a man, without a doubt. And I have some pictures of him, of us playing around where it looks like he's, throttling me and over-the-top stuff. And he was such a big hit at the convention. It really kind of set the tone for all of my conventions that I ran during that time. Now, later on, he got together with other characters from Star Wars, the fellow that played Chewbacca and the fellow that played R2-D2 and other ones. And they got a company that decided to do the Star Wars crew on doing show conventions and stuff like that. Now, we talked about that there, and this was before it happened. So I would love to take some knowledge, thinking that I had a hand in giving him the idea to do that. If not, it could have been somebody else, and the timing was just perfect, I think. But it was a big hit. So let's continue with some of the background stuff. So now David Prowse, he didn't know his voice was being replaced by James Earl Jones. Matter of fact, when he found out was when he sat at the movie theater at the film's premiere. Now, he was disappointed, and we talked about it, but once Prowse realized that he was being dubbed like in the sequels when he was filming those, he started improvising joke lines on set. And he forced his co-stars to maintain their composure while acting against total and complete nonsense. Now, during the filming of Empire Strikes Back, George Lucas fiercely guarded the big movie twist, right? So the script that Prowse was given had him saying, "No, Obi-Wan killed your father." And only Mark Hamill knew, because he was secretly pulled aside right before the cameras rolled and told the true storyline, mainly so he could react authentically and appropriately. Now, James Earl Jones only took 2.5 hours to record all of Vader's dialogue for the original '77 film, making a whopping $7,000. Now, he completely refused to be credited in the first 2 films because he considered his voiceover to be merely he called it a special effect, and felt Prowse was the true actor. Now, Darth Vader's iconic chilling breathing sound was not heavily synthesized nor digitally created. Sound designer Ben Burt achieved this effect simply by placing a microphone inside a standard scuba tank breathing regulator and recording his own breath. And the visual design of Darth Vader, his imposing armor, was heavily inspired by ancient Chinese samurai. George Lucas was a massive fan of director Akira Kurosawa, and Vader's helmet was directly modeled after the traditional kabuto helmets worn by the samurai warriors. Now, another unknown fact, unless you read the books, the blinking control box on Darth Vader's chest was not just for decoration. In Star Wars lore, it is a highly sensitive temperature and pressure regulation system keeping him alive, meaning a well-placed strike to those buttons could instantly shut down his life support. Now, it took a massive team effort to bring the physical presence of Darth Vader to the screen. While David Prowse wore the suit for the majority of the original trilogy, Olympic fencer Bob Anderson stepped in and performed the intense lightsaber combat. James Earl Jones, of course, provided the voice, and Sebastian Shaw played the unmasked face in The Return of the Jedi. Now, all of this is a lot of fun, and you might know some of it. You might know all of it. You might know some stuff that's not in this. So leave comments letting me know some of the behind-the-scenes interesting stuff. And do a like, and I appreciate you checking us out, of course. Thanks, and give us a follow.